Rain, rain, rain everywhere. The whole of New South Wales and Queensland is copping a major downpour. Levuka's closed at the moment due to the rain everywhere. All the parks are closed. But Rob and Rosemary said we could come along just to show you guys a few special tips for driving in really bad weather. And boy, it doesn't get much worse than this.
Looking for a mad deal on the gear that you're chasing? Like this awning, I've got you covered. Keep an eye out throughout this video for an exclusive discount code and get 10% off store-wide for all 4WDING Supacentre YouTube subscribers. And as always, enjoy this adventure because this is an epic trip.
As any four-wheel driver knows, Australia is a land of extremes. Sometimes you can cop a drought, sometimes you can cop a flood. It's been raining for the last couple of weeks. A whole lot of New South Wales is flooded, a lot of southeast Queensland's flooded. And because of that, it's always worth thinking about practicing your mud skills. Why is that? Because you could be 3 or 4 days into a track somewhere and all of a sudden it all changes. You've got water everywhere, you've got to get out of there. This trip is all about honing your skills in the mud, something every four-wheel driver should practice because you never know when you're going to need them. Come along and see what we can get up to. Levuka is a 700-acre property in Toowoomba, northern New South Wales. We're going to be trying out a handful of tracks across the property, including the playground, Rock and Roll Gully and Rosemary's Track. And our final destination, with a bit of luck, will be the beautiful Apple Tree Lookout. Whoa, Glenn's recently switched to the dark side and is driving a Nissan Patrol. Our associate editor Breno is driving his 91 Toyota 4Runner. David Luke, his co-pilot, is also from the mag. We make a pretty good team and we're ready to push ourselves and our four-wheel drives to the limits. We're off to see Rob and Rosemary, the owners here at Levuka, see what they reckon about the place in the rain. Hey! Hey, Robert! Rob's a third-generation farmer here. He knows this land inside and out. Rosemary reckons it's predicted to rain for the next 28 days.
A bit too much of a good thing.
You got a new dog. Yeah. G'day, Chad, come here.
He's a wet weather model at the moment.
A wet weather model.
10 months old and rounding up cattle already. So wow.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Rob gave us a rundown on the track conditions and then we were into it.
Oh boy, this weather hasn't improved one iota, has it?
It's pretty nasty. It looks like fun though.
I didn't know whether the vehicles were going to be up for it. I didn't know how far we were going to get.
The track should be just insane. If we can get to the track, John.
Yeah, well I guess, you know, now that you're batting for the other side there with that Nissan, you would be worried about getting to tracks, wouldn't you, Glenn?
Yeah, mate, I know. I've given them a bagging, but I'm really excited to get this thing out and get it dirty and see what it can and can't do.
Mind you, I suppose it's already been through the Roo Systems hot-up deal anyway, has it? It's probably as good as a 3-litre Nissan gets.
No reason it should not do everything.
And Breno, I see you bought the mighty 4Runner up, mate. What's the go?
Yeah, no, Davo and I have been working on the thing for about 3 weeks now. Every single night after work and all weekends. Done a whole bunch of stuff to it, so I just want to see how she goes.
I reckon you're going to be glad you did. A pair of mud rats like you blokes, you're going to love Levuka. Levuka's a working cattle farm. That means plenty of cows around the place, plenty of gates. Make sure you shut them, eh? Otherwise you'll be chasing cows instead of tracks.
Guys, this is the playground.
Everything was just soaked. You step in the mud and your foot disappeared. And we had to drive it.
Oh, it should just be a kablunk, kablunk, kablunk slide. I suppose the big thing here will be to start giving it some berries down the bottom there to maintain a bit of momentum up the other side.
Has that dado of yours got any berries to give, mate? What do you reckon?
Oh, mate, it'll have no drums going down.
When it's this wet, the best thing you can do is just stick to the ruts. Mostly because that's the only thing you can do. Keep on a little bit of momentum, but don't rely on steering and brakes. You just have to go with it at the end of the day. Oh, here we go! Oh! And here's where I need to gather a bit of momentum, or at least keep it up, so I can try and climb the other side of the hill.
Oh, yeah. Oh, go, you good thing.
Yes!
It's your turn, mate.
Yeah.
Leno knows his trucks and he knows how to build them tough as hell.
Oh, wow. Ha! That is slipping.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, well done, mate, well done.
Welcome to Levuka. What an intro that was.
Second gear low and roll it on its roof.
Dave Luke's riding shotgun with Breno. Normally it's the other way round when they're driving competitions. Dave drives, Breno does the rock sloshing.
Let's do this, Breno.
Alrighty.
Being a passenger with Breno is pretty much like living on the edge.
Oh, look at those guys, Packer.
Yeah, let's go. Look at that mud, it's awesome.
Oh, that was too easy, mate. We need something harder from you.
Oh, here we go, here we go. Should have brought the 100. Oh, I don't think so.
Shall we step up the game a little bit?
Let's go and play.
Bring it on.
In the playground.
This is an interesting little bit of track here. It all happens in about 15 metres. Unfortunately, there's a great big tree root poking out of the bank on the right-hand side, which is pretty much guaranteed to do a bit of panel damage. So what we're going to try and do here is find some timber from somewhere, lay it down there as a bit of a bounce board to throw the truck and the wheels away from that bank. That should get us through without panel damage, and really the trick is not to try and stop and not to rely on things like steering and brakes, because they probably won't be happening. Oh gee, that is so slippery. This is one of those, cross your fingers, and hope you get out of it in one bit. There goes the log, bang.
That was the call of the day, John. Putting that in there.
That surprised me how well it worked. I didn't snag anything. There's no traction.
A bit slippery there, jeez.
Oh, it's one of those on the brakes and slide back down moment.
I'll be talking to you guys, but I'm real busy. On the other side, it's all about momentum. It's not what I planned to happen, but I'm not stopping. To back off now would be a disaster.
I don't know how you get away with doing things like that, John, but you do.
Oh, you! Oh, Lord, what a drive!
Go my way.
If you'd stopped then, I wouldn't have liked to see what was going to happen.
Good stuff. All right, I'm going to come on through. That is, got a bit of brake actually. I've got a little bit of control here.
Glenn's managing to use his brakes even in this thick mud.
Log kept me off the stump. I had plenty of control. I'd say John has done a great job by knocking the top off. So here we go. Up the other side.
Oh, look at that. Makes it straight up the track. No worries. Well done, mate.
That was awesome.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Ooh, Breno's over, no traction at all.
Beautiful placement. This is
The log saves the day again. Not that you're really too bothered about saving a forerunner, are you? Look at that for control. That front locker doesn't work, does it?
like gear change. Love it.
I don't think it's turning.
Mate, I reckon you got a busted CV or something there.
You just did that in three-wheel drive, I think,
Yeah.
Breno, because we shouldn't have put that hill in your road.
I didn't even realise I'd broken that CV. We got out and had a bit of a look, and yeah, it had popped. Yeah, no, that's.
Oh, listen to that.
Oh, do you hear that? No, that's all right. I got a spare in there. I always carry them.
You must be pretty good at swapping them now. You and Lukey bust one every time you go on a
Yeah, I
comp,
reckon
don't
we've probably got them down to about 45 minutes now.
you? 45 minutes, you reckon?
Yeah, not too long. It's a pretty easy job.
Mate, let's get the chairs and timer, mate. Peanut, Glenn.
Boldy, John.
Oh, thanks, mate. Ripper. Hurry up. Hey, try not to use all of that tarp. It's a very expensive tarp.
Here's one I prepared earlier.
Oh, what's that? Hey, Breno.
Yeah. Can you shell it first next time, mate?
Here, mate, open up.
I'd love to say it's the first time that I've had food thrown at me, but it's
Take photo. Bring a chair. Oh boy, isn't Facebook good? I can give Dave and Breno a hard time from miles away.
Ooh. Oh no.
What happened?
Oh, nothing, mate. Don't worry about that. Nothing.
Oh, look at the crack in me tool.
Did you break it, Breno?
No, that was Dave. Definitely
Breno,
Dave. Oh.
it's an unbreakable tool and you've broken it. It's all right, Breno. You don't have to wreck it too much more.
Oh, look at that. I reckon we've probably got him down to about 45 minutes now.
A little bit ambitious. Good on you, Breno. You're a champion. I think it's like 3 or 4 hours later or something.
So while the guys are bunging in the replacement CV, I got a bit of a tip on tyre beads. What happens is, as the tyre's coming down, something like this, there's a fair chance if it snags something like that little lump there, it'll just peel the bead in off the rim a little bit of dirt or grass or something like that'll get in there. And because the tyre's still moving, it'll reseat itself, you know, within a turn or two going down the hill, and you'll think everything's fine. You blow the tyres up and you drive home, and then a few days later, the tyre will be flat. You'll be looking at it going, now how did that happen? I don't think I've got a puncture. You haven't. You've got a little bit of dirt in behind the rim. All you can do is let all the air out, knock the beads out, give it a clean, reseat the whole thing. Anyway, I better go and see how the guys are getting on with this CV, because at this stage, I'll tell you what, if we can't get it sorted, that's going to be a very brief run for the 4Runner.
So one of the biggest difficulties we faced in that CV swap, the upper ball joint on the upper control arm broke away, and instead of just dropping out of the control arm, the actual ball broke out of the cup itself. Yeah. And yeah, that definitely led to a few problems later on.
You got anything else in mind, mate?
Oh yeah, just that one, mate. Thank you very much.
Oh, it's not broken.
Yeah,
Well, the guys finally managed to fit the replacement CV with no real problems, except now the 4Runner's got a weakened ball joint. Oh well, here we go, 3 hours later. We're heading over to the Rock and Roll Gully. This place is absolutely beautiful.
It was late afternoon, heading back to camp, and someone had the idea that we'd do Rock and Roll Gully.
It's a bit of a three-pointer, so don't get too close, right?
Yeah, got that.
As a four-wheel driver, that Rock and Roll Gully just ticks every single box for me. You know, it was tough. We're driving up waterfalls. It was flowing. It was scenic. It was just, yeah, it was everything I'd love.
Glenn's up to turn 73 on his spin around.
If you hadn't been four-wheel driving before, to look up a creek like that, you just wouldn't think of driving up it.
This is cool. This is awesome. This is great.
Rock and Roll Gully is one of the most beautiful little bits of North Coast hinterland you can imagine.
A lot of big boulders in it, very narrow. Anyway, we drove for, I'd say, a good couple of 100 metres. It was just really good fun. Then it all happened.
This is great.
It's narrow, there are rocks all over the place, you've got to take it really easy.
Oh, this is getting crazy.
That gap's smaller than Milo. I reckon the best way to do it is just try and squeeze through.
A fast-flowing creek is not exactly the ideal place to have a CV brake.
Hey guys, I think I've just cracked a CV.
Or something. I've certainly lost drive on the right-hand side, and I am stuck.
I think this is going to be a long night.
Just moseying on up the creek. I didn't have the front diff lock on, I did have the rear one on. But I've got to this V-shaped section here with the big rock on the right, and I just thought I'd flick the front locker on just to pull the wheel over that. It's not much of a pull, and she just cracked the CV straight away. With darkness really coming on strong, we need to move as quickly as possible to get the others through the rest of the creek safely.
Go winch in! Everyone's up to their knees in water, we're soaked, there's leeches. I don't know how we're going to get the rest of the trucks through.
Well, I'm past the V, but now I'll have to try and get Milo up a steep, slippery hill in three-wheel drive. Okay, ain't stopping until we get to the top and... Don't run up on. Come on, Milo.
Whoa! Oh! Hang on. That's it on. That's it. Good. You got the three-time protector.
It's really good watching Breno and Dave working on the cables. I mean, they've done a lot of competition work together, and they work really well together as a team. They just roar into it. They throw things at each other occasionally, but they roar into it.
Now winch him up this, get him out of here, because we literally probably have, I'd say 15 minutes until it's lights out here.
Mate, I can feel about 4 litres in your boots right now.
Yeah?
Hey, Gleno, it's your turn, buddy.
And I'm thinking, oh no, the patrol's wide. How am I going to get through there?
Gleno got to see me come through, so he's got a better idea on how to handle it, but of course, the truck's wider too, the big Dado.
Sides down. Look at them, man. Nice one, mate. Good driving.
Glenn was just Glenn behind the wheel. He has this amazing ability to pick the right line. And
I just drove up the bank a little bit and got out and did a 16-point turn to get out of the tractor. And this has got a fantastic turning circle. Not.
Get up that, you're laughing. And you've done it. Go, mate, go. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. All that roof system's grunt came to play on that little slope. Bang, straight up it.
Then it was Breno's turn.
Tell you what, this is serious. We're halfway up an actual creek. I've got no winch. This might be interesting.
You can say that again, Breno.
I've seen Breno break things, but that's got to be one of the best.
No, that's a ball joint gone.
you kidding?
The whole wheel's come out. It's all right, wait there, we'll sort it. This is not good at all.
It's one of those situations you never ever want to get into.
This is probably the worst situation you can be in. Top of the hub has basically separated from the upper control arm. So we're going to need to do some serious bush mechanics to get this truck out of here. Otherwise it might become a permanent water feature.
High lift jacking in wet conditions is one of the most dangerous things on earth. You really need to be careful. Think about it. Make sure the jack's got lots of traction.
We obviously had to relocate the wheel back into that ball joint, which wasn't easy.
Back off a bit, Glenn. Back. No, Breno, not you. Back off a bit, Glenn.
That's spot on, Breno. See if you can go down.
Used a bit of rope around the upper control arm just to try and guide it back into place.
That's it. Let it down, Dave.
And then lowered the high lift jack back down.
Go now, mate. You're only going to get one choice.
Thankfully, it actually went in pretty
Another
easy.
hit. We've landed it. That's it. That clunk was it.
We clear?
Super slow, mate.
So after that, I had to back the four-wheel drive out. I had John, Dave, Angle, and all spotting me.
I'm going to watch the wheel. Okay. Dave's going to go behind and call you.
Straight wheels, Breno, straight wheels.
Might have been doing about 1 kilometre an hour, and the clutch was coughing a serious workout.
Well, we finally got him out, and then it's time for the rest of us to get out too.
And we got to camp, and I tell you, that meal was well earned that night.
Get more for less at 4WD Supacentre with incredible deals on Adventure King's camping and outdoor gear. Take your camping experience to the next level with the amazing Grand Tourer Mark III aluminium rooftop tent, the rooftop tent that practically sets itself up. King's portable gazebos are built ultra strong with a tough steel frame, are easy to set up even by yourself, and are available in multiple sizes for the campsite or the job site. The incredible new 270-degree freestanding awning can be set up in just 40 seconds and wraps around the side and the back of your car for incredible amounts of shelter. Hit the water on a King's inflatable stand-up paddleboard for an insane amount of fun at the beach, the river or the dam. But warning, it's highly addictive. Plus there's fridges, solar panels and more to make every adventure incredible. At 4WD Supacentre, you get more for less.
Just like Breno, I usually have a spare CV in the back of Milo, so I spent a couple of hours replacing it in the morning at camp. Meanwhile, Breno and Dave drove into town to pick up a replacement ball joint to fix the 4Runner. So with both vehicles mended, let's see if we can keep them together for a whole day. Righto, first stop for us, Rosemary's Road, and have a bit of a muck around on the test track. Rosemary's test track is designed as a bit of a warm-up for Rosemary's Road. Once you start that one, there's no turning back.
Looks a bit slushy in here.
It's pretty cool over here, mate. Looks awesome.
Oh, this looks a bit deep. Oh, it is. The major challenge on the test track is the logs. In the dry, they're difficult enough, but in the wet, wow, it's another thing altogether. Oh, here we go, the logs. They're not going to be so easy today. These logs are like super slippery. Bit of mud, a lot of water, slippery timber, no traction at all. Wet logs can throw you right off direction. The tyres just turn and it just spins to one side. Actually, I wouldn't mind if someone was fairly handy here with a strap.
Yeah, John, I'm away.
This is quite exciting. We're about to test out the roll bar.
You go, nice.
Yeah! Well, beautiful, Glenno. Beautiful, mate.
Let's see how the long wheelbase of the GU handles these logs. It should be an advantage, actually.
Glenn's not taking any chances. Dave's going to bung the strap on in case we need it in a hurry.
There's that slip, hold on.
Yeah, left from there.
Those logs were greasy. There was no other word for it.
He really needs to keep it nice and steady now so that he doesn't slip right off that edge. Oh, nicely done, Glenno.
Yeah, the auto definitely allowed me to control that torque a lot more. And now I've got that chip tuned to come in at low RPM so I don't get that turbo kicking in hard. So the torque's nicely controlled. And I hate to say it, but the dado felt good.
The dado felt good, I'm going to cry.
There was serious danger of going over on that right-hand side. Little did I know we were in serious danger of going over on the left-hand side.
Hey, Breno, you want to bung a strap on before you have a go, or?
No, I think it'll be all right, mate. I'll just take it nice and easy and see how we go without the strap for the first time.
No worries, guys. I can see some big smiles from here. This is going to be fun, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the one, mate. And left, that's it. Left.
So I was listening to Glenn spot me over the top of those logs there, and he keeps saying left, Breno, left, and I don't know, I'm thinking, this doesn't feel right to me.
Yeah, that's the one, mate. And left, that's it. Left. Right, sorry. Right. Mate, you're a legend, I tell you. Absolute legend. I knew I'd put you on your roof. Oh, Bruno, if you knew you were like one lug off falling over, mate, on the left-hand side, that was insane.
We normally hand over spotting duties to Glenn because he's the one guy who doesn't mix up his left from his right. Well, not anymore.
Mate, you nailed that accelerator at the right time, I tell you.
Wow, how close was that?
And it was only because of Breno's right foot, which is normally what gets us in trouble, that actually made us get through. You know, I have complete and utter faith in Brendan's driving, but I prefer when I'm outside the truck.
In years to come, and if someone were to ask me about Levuka, the first thing I will think about is Rosemary's track. That's the track that it'll stay with me forever.
Might as well just slide all the way to the bottom, I think.
Driving into Rosemary's track was something else. We've gone from this beautiful, big, open, lush paddock straight into this like dark, dense bush track.
This is rated extreme on the map, and that's not even in the rain. And we're straight into it.
You're going to try and crawl your way up that bank there, John?
Well, whatever I do, I'm just sliding into the tree. I'm actually resting on the shovel at the moment. I think we're going to have to do something fairly tricky here. I can't get anyone else down here to help me, so Milo's got to do it all on its own. And the whole idea here is to use two pulleys to skew the winch pull right around to the side of the truck. Is it going to work? Well, I think we're about one mirror, one shovel and a high lift jack away from finding out.
Winch manoeuvre that I've never seen before. It was fantastic at John around that tree.
If I can just get it off the exhaust pipe, I'll be happy with that.
Pull the bum around a bit.
We managed to pull the front half of Milo off the tree. This time we need to slide the back half around too. So the boys reposition the strap from the slider to the rear recovery point. This is where plenty of winch points on your truck really help out. How am I looking here, Breno?
No, that's perfect. Perfect. Beautiful.
Oh, look how close that exhaust pipe is. Oh, look at the way it's turning. That's lovely, isn't it?
Magic.
All right, I think we'll have to knock that front off. I reckon I'll have another drive.
Slide it in there, just getting out.
Without those river rocks, I'd have no chance down here. I'm not surprised to see Gleno looking a bit apprehensive. It's not going to take much for things to go wrong here.
With Gleno coming down, there was just no traction there at all.
I slid down the hill and I had no steering.
Not a hope in hell.
In that position, Glenn, I'd almost say we'll have a go away. We'll try the low line.
With Gleno so far past the tree, Dave suggests he takes the lower line around. It's a good idea. Glenn gives it a go.
Yeah, nice and slow, nice and slow. Hold there, hold there. I think we're going to have to pull winch from there to make sure your nose doesn't get down the hole.
Mate, I'm happy with through there. We'll give it a crack. Mate, there was just nothing there at all. I don't know how Roothy got in the position he did.
Why is Gleno over there? I thought he was going that way. Rosemary, you've done it to us again. Their rear's holding still, front's pulling over, Glenn.
Beautiful.
That's really nice. Yep, lovely. Okay. Stay full left. Right, straightener. Bit of drive. Oh, there's no room for error here. Only just enough room for the patrol to fit between the tree and the stump.
Yeah, still right here. You pull it dead straight. So that's
Perfect, yeah.
Hey Glenn, are you trying to wedge this thing on purpose? And he just makes it 2 down, 1 to go.
Oh, she's muddy out there, mate.
We got those two old fellas through.
Old. Oh.
What's this 2 old bloke stuff?
Go there, Breno. Oh, you've done better than any of us so far, mate. Left.
Now we've made it past the very first part of the very start of Rosemary's track. This is no time to muck around. Momentum's the real key here. Bit of momentum is what it's all about here. But you've got to basically let the truck go its own way too. Follow the ruts. That's all there is to it. Mother Nature is just so full on down here. Get a load of this creek, it's beautiful. This next little bit, it's interesting. As far as we've had a look, which is only a couple of 100 metres, she climbs pretty much, you know, fairly straight up. Lovely little waterfalls on both sides of the track. In our favour, not much. There's actually a few rocks and a little bit of traction that, you know, where the tyre marks are. This is very slippery, as you can see from the way the guys are. Hey, that's pretty good, Glenn. Whoa! Oh, mate. I think that probably proves how slippery it is. To give myself the best chance possible, I'm dropping out another 8 psi. Yep, we're going for 12 on this hill.
Milo gave that bottom side of that hill a good go 3 or 4 times.
Winching! Oh, well, we will be in a minute.
Which led to, you know, getting the winch out for the first of what would be a number of times.
Clear, winching! Get a right end down, John. Sit.
Yeah, well, I want to try and drive it, so...
As you're doing your forward driving, you always want to drive it. You don't want to winch the whole way out.
It's hard to believe there's actually a bit of traction here. My problem is now that Milo's diffing out on the bump in the middle. We don't have any other choice but to get back on the winch. This is going to be a lot of work.
When we had to start winching John from the bottom, I'm thinking, oh my God, we're going to be going into the night here.
Sometimes it does slow things down a bit when you're winching, but you know, often that's pretty much the only way you can get up a hill.
If you're not happy running the winch cable and getting completely muddy and dirty, you should be driving your 4B around town, not in the bush.
There's only one way out, man.
See this tree on the right-hand side? How about we pulley it? I'm going for double line pulls here, using the snatch block, just to take it a bit easier on the winch.
Coming around now. Try to double line pull for a second time. We're just moving the winch point further and further up, double line at a time, finding a new tree every time. This is pretty much as tough as it gets winching.
Winching! Gotta have a go at driving it.
About a metre more, mate.
Well, I'm going to have to try and drive a bit to save the winch because it's just really overworking in these conditions. Can I go back for a bit of a run up, Bren?
Yeah, mate, come back another foot. That's her there.
Come on, old girl. Well, we start moving, but there's a tree root on the track, and that's all it takes for Milo to lose traction. No, it's not doing it.
Say one of the hardest things about recoveries in that sort of terrain is running winch cables up that sort of track where it's hard enough to walk up, let alone drag a winch cable all the way up.
Let's do some winching!
One more big winch by the look of it. For the guys outside the truck, this is a struggle. They're soaked, there's leeches all over the place. It's just insane conditions. Funny how we all sort of love this stuff, isn't it?
Sometimes the best way to get Breno to get fired up and get working is to kind of give him something to aim for. So we started yelling out that there's lamb cutlets at the top because we all know Breno loves a good feed.
Go, Breno! There's cutlets in it. Do it for the cutlets.
I was pretty much running on empty by then, and the image of those lamb cutlets had just pretty much got me up the top, I think.
Right now, we've been winching up this one hill for what? I'd say it's probably 2 hours.
2 hours.
Just to get John up so far.
50 metres.
Mate, we've got maybe 45 minutes of daylight left. We're in the middle of a rainforest, 100% humidity. It is pouring down.
2 cars to go. I just thought about that.
You've got to love it.
Attention!
If you ever get into one of these situations, you've really got to think about things, everything, or you'll do some damage.
Oh, it is coming down hard now, this rain.
Start bringing the patrol up, man.
It's no surprise with all the humidity that we've stuffed a camera, so we missed Glenn's first drive to the top. That's right, the patrol made it up the first section. It was an amazing effort.
It was what it was. We were in there, we had to get out. What an absolute mission.
Yes! Whoa! Well done, Dave. Good on you, mate. It's a big effort. We've just crested. Don't know what's around the corner, but I'm pretty sure from memory that's about the worst of it. That was a few hours worth of insane. We still have Gleno on the 4Runner to get up the hill. We're on one camera and the audio just fell through on that one.
To be honest, I saw John getting that stuck. I thought, what hope have we got? Seriously.
I started driving up thinking I'll just get up as far as I can, and the Nissan just didn't stop. It was a great feeling. I got to the top, I couldn't believe it. You'd probably hear me cheering and carrying on, if the cameras were working, that was.
Breno's next. Without a winch on the front of the 4Runner, I don't even want to think about what we'll have to do if he gets stuck.
This is insane. Oh, you ripper! Woohoo! Go the 4Runner! Go the tyres! Go everything! Woo! Four-wheel drive action!
Oh, Breno, he just loves this stuff, doesn't he?
It's just one of those ones you look back on and you just go, wow, I've done it.
Nothing better than rolling into camp after you've been 4 driving like that, you know, just with all your mates there, just want to kick back, get the fire going, have a couple of coldies.
There's over 120 acres of campsites on the property, some near amenities and others as private as you want. With the weather playing funny buggers, we've chosen to stay in what they call the Bush Cafe. It'll give us a chance to dry out around the campfire. The cameras took over an hour sitting next to the fire to come back to life, which gave me just enough time to cook up some well-deserved tucker. Oh boy, I tell you what, you just can't get good stuff. No, not true. Can't get sober stuff. Ian put this recipe together and I saw it and I thought, yep, that's the kind of thing I like. To start with, we're going to bung in this strange form of cabanossi. I'd like to point out that there was 8 feet of sausage here, but I asked Glenn to cut it. And now we've got about 3 inches. This kind of sausage, you know, the processed jobby with lots of fat in it, sorry, not fat, flavour buds, really does work well if you give it a good cooking, eh? I mean, how good does that smell already?
That's awesome.
Yeah. Can you chuck the onion in, Gleno? And I'll bung the beef in. Tell you what, the old Engle's running cold. This stuff's nearly frozen. Unreal.
It's just for Glenn, isn't it?
Yeah, what is everyone else having?
Oh, what are you guys eating? Yeah. Couldn't really be much simpler, could it, so far? And that cabanossi, that's optional. You know, if you got some sausages, you could chop them up, chuck them in. Ian's recipe's kind of built to be modified. A bit like Breno's 4Runner, really. In Ian's recipe, he didn't mention any soy sauce. But look, I got this little thing about meat. I reckon beef especially, you add a little bit of soy and it's guaranteed to improve the flavour. Okay, so
smell that.
we've got the soy in there and it instantly smells good, doesn't it, eh? Well, just, oh, hang on. Now, we got Ian's recipe perking away here. Ian did stress lots of garlic, okay? But he also said you can bung in any spices you want. We'll just put a little bit of garlic in. It's probably about that much. Don't watch this if you like wimpy food, okay? That is a lot of garlic. It's very cold out here and there have been rumours of vampires. And then Seymour showed up and they all left. But we'll bung in a little bit of ginger. I should do. Chili! Oops! Oh dear, made a mistake.
Okay.
Oh dear, there we go.
that left.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah.
One more for good measure.
Oh, one more for good measure. Now, by this stage, Ian's going, oh, my kids would never eat that. Yeah, well, you're right. But my kids will.
We got a 6-pack each.
Get that all nice and gumped up. Oh, smell that, eh? Oh, wow. Righto, that's a good mix-up. Now, what kind of a winner is this? Red kidney beans. This is the health component of this meal. I'll just get one out. There we go, they all go in. Good stuff. Bung in 2 tins, just because these 2 guys are sitting very close in that forerunner all day tomorrow.
Oh, man. That's all you, buddy.
This is tasty cheese. You're probably wondering how we can be this merry and not have had more than a couple of beers. Well, after a day like today, it's just kind of good to be alive, isn't it, really? I mean,
Maybe out of the rain.
and be out of the rain. Oh. What we're going to do now is take the pot over here, bung a shovel full of coals on top, just to let a bit of heat go down through the cheese, just to melt the cheese. Whoa! This is when you really don't want the plastic handle to fall off. Wow, that looks like tucker.
Be careful that chili doesn't burn a hole through the bottom of them bowls.
Oh, they're only thin.
That's going to be great.
Pass it down the line, I reckon. Alrighty. Thanks, mate.
So,
That's good.
Oh, that's pretty good, isn't it? Thanks, Ian. That is a super simple, very easy to modify meal. I hope you and your family get many, many happy years out of your camping on Stockton Beach. Good on you, mate. Thank you.
Get more for less at 4-Wheel Drive Supacentre with insane deals on King's DIY storage and 12-volt gear to build your dream 4-wheel drive. Whether it's an inverter you need to run 240-volt gear on the job site or the campsite, a battery box or a 12-volt control box to easily access your power, King's 12-volt DIY gear is what you need to take your 12-volt setup to the next level. Need a battery? King's has you covered with a full range of AGM, slimline and lithium batteries in sizes ranging from 98 amp hour to 200 amp hour. All built with ultra high quality components to go the distance. And of course, you just can't beat King's solar panels and blankets to silently charge your batteries anytime the sun's out. At 4-Wheel Drive Supacentre, you get more for less.
Hey, Gleno, there's Rob up there. Might drop up.
Oh yeah, nice big tractor he's got there, mate, isn't it?
That's the ultimate green machine, isn't it, eh? Rob's family won this land in a ballot back in 1908, and looking around, it's pretty easy to see why Robert never left. Got the big green machine, Rob?
Yeah, it's a real 4-wheel drive, mate. 80 horsepower and weighs about 6 tonnes, so we can do a snatch fairly easy these days.
Snatch, you'd be pulling it in half if it's stuck.
Yeah, well, we watch the little ones. We don't stretch them too much.
Make them bigger.
Yeah, that's right.
Something you get for free at Levuka.
Yeah, that's right.
Get your truck lengthened. It's a 4-way.
Yeah, it's a 4-in-1 bucket. You can pick up posts off the ground or pull out lantana bushes or all that sort of toys that we big boys like to play with.
You love plucking lantana, don't you?
Yeah, it gives me a great deal of pleasure.
I'll tell you what, I wish the national parks felt like that, mate.
Yeah.
Every time they shut down a track, it just covers itself in lantana.
Yeah, well, when you take the human activity out there, the vegetation goes wild. So
it was your grandfather who first came to Levuka, wasn't it?
He was original selector and he drew it in a land ballot. And it came here and all it was green bush, and his father backed him up, helped get him on his feet. And they came from Fiji and that, and when his father came here, he said, this looks like Levuka and Fiji, so we'll call it that. So
stress.
Yes, and we've enjoyed hosting people, and
Yeah.
I must say 98% of them are pretty good.
Yeah. It must be sad for any landowner to come out and see some fool doing donuts.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what
right.
I mean, oh, well, we better leave you to your work and we'll go back to having some fun.
Righto, John, yeah.
Good on you,
Yeah,
Rob.
all the
It's
best,
good
man.
to see you, mate.
Good.
So, John, you've tested us so far, mate. Where are you taking us today?
Well, I figured, you know, we've had such a dry run of it so far, we should try and find a bit of mud. Reckons Mickey's track's good for that at the moment. We'll go and have a look at that, eh? After 3 generations, Rob knows this environment like the back of his hand. And that's why he's letting us have a play, because he knows that a couple of good rains and Mother Nature will have a way. She always does up here. Righto, time to give this a proper crack.
That Mickey's track, that was a lot of fun. It was just so unique, so different to anything else we've ever driven, just driving through big paddocks and then just mud holes of death every 5 or 10 metres.
I know we're in nasty puddles, but there's a real horrible one right in front by the look of it.
Here we go. Hang on.
Oh, that's big.
Hang on.
That was crazy fun.
Come on, Forerunner. That didn't mean that.
Got something hanging under the bum of your car there, John.
I've noticed this thing on the back of John's rear diff.
I'll tell you what, that's something you would not see in a million years, eh? Dead set.
Oh, found out what's hanging underneath your car there, John.
Hey,
You picked him up.
picked him up in a puddle. G'day, little mate. He's alive and well in there too. Somehow, in that last boggy section, a turtle wound up clinging to the diff. Hey, look, I've finally found someone I can race. Better put him back in his home, eh? We've probably woken him up from his lunchtime nap. Bye, matey. Oh, how beautiful is this country, eh? Just when I thought things were getting easy, I found the mud hole to end all mud holes. Oh, what happened to the ground?
Oh, that's a big angle there, Roothy.
Well, the only thing keeping Milo up here is the edge of the bank. Here comes Milo's personal recovery team. If you're watching this and you own a particularly big helicopter, can you bung a hook on it and come over and give us a bit of a lift? Because, man, this is sticky.
Okay, John, we have got tension.
Clear winching.
Here we go, mate. You are stuck hard.
Well, that ain't stuck, Glenn. It's merely not moving anywhere. Oh, it's a very nice feeling, Glenn. It's coming back.
You're out there now. Good, stop.
Thanks for that, mate. That was awesome. Oh, there's that horrible little bit I fell over into. I'm glad to see the end of it, I can tell you.
John.
Better than that other side, mate. That was a big hole.
I know we found turtles earlier, but you don't know what you'd find.
That's big hole.
May there be sea urchins in there. It's deep enough.
It's like an Olympic swimming pool.
Complete with logs and mud. Oh, bad jokes with good mates. That's what it's all about. Well, there you go, guys. We came out here in extreme weather conditions to practice our extreme weather driving. And look what happened. We did exactly that. And I guess it really nailed a couple of points for me. The first one is that when the conditions go bad, you can get into potential danger, even in the safe environment of a place like Levuka, a beautiful four-wheel drive park a couple of hours from town. So if you can get into trouble here, you can really get into trouble a couple of thousand k's from home, right out in the bush. Far better to practice here before you go. And the second thing is, you know what makes a real adventure? When you're with a bunch of Butte people. It makes it a lot safer too. If there's other vehicles there, if you can recover each other, you all work towards a common purpose, finishing that track. I really want to thank Robert and Rosemary. They're just wonderful people. This is one of the best places on earth, not just for four-wheel driving, but for camping too. Give Levuka a try sometime. Good on you guys. See you on a track sometime. If you're interested in taking the family to Levuka Recreation Park, and remember, we were doing some of the more difficult tracks and in the rain, then give Robert and Rosemary a call or head to their website, www.levuka.com.au. There's no better way to finish a Levuka trip than at the Crown Hotel in Urbanville. Daryl and Amanda will make you feel more than welcome.
Forget building your own set of storage drawers or paying well over $1,000 for a set elsewhere, and get your hands on a set of incredibly tough and unbeatable value for money Titan storage drawers. Our entire range of Titan storage drawers have been built to handle just about anything you can throw at them. All models of Titan double drawers come with an included built-in fridge slide on the left-hand side, saving you up to $200 compared to some other brands that charge extra for a fridge slide. Each drawer top also has these heavy-duty spring-loaded tie-down points to secure your gear on even the most corrugated roads. We've put them through their paces like none other. We've jumped on them, overloaded them with bricks, chucked an engine on the drawers at full extension, absolutely flooded them and used them off-road year after year to prove just how tough they are. The Titan 900 single drawer is perfect for those who have limited space to install a storage drawer. It has internal dimensions of 430mm wide, 790mm long, and 190mm deep. The Titan 900 double drawer setup is ideal for smaller wagons like Prados, Pajeros, and SUVs, with the internal dimensions identical to the 900 single drawer on each side. The Titan 1300 ute drawers are made specifically for vans and utes. The internal dimensions are 1200mm long, 430mm wide, and 150mm high. The 1300mm single drawers are also a cracking addition to the back of vans and utes. The internal dimensions are the same as the double 1300 drawers, but have an extra 40mm of depth, making them 190mm deep. And finally, for the bigger wagons like Land Cruisers and Patrols, the double 1070 storage drawers have internal dimensions of 880mm long, 470mm wide, and 180mm of depth. They come 95% pre-assembled, and all you need to install them is a couple of basic hand tools and a couple of hours on a lazy Sunday arvo. You can also add optional wing kits, both model specific and DIY, so you can finish off the back of your four-wheel drive and have plenty of storage available for your next adventure. Take your setup to the next level with the incredibly tough and unbeatable value for money Titan storage drawers.
If you're after a next level 12 volt upgrade for your vehicle or your next camping trip, then check this out. The Adventure King's 120 amp hour lithium battery. This uses high capacity, brand new grade A lithium iron phosphate cells capable of thousands of cycles. It's paired with a high quality BMS able to output up to 160 amps of current. The future of 12 volt setups is here. Lithium batteries are super lightweight and still have heaps of power capacity. In fact, this battery weighs just over 15 kilos. That's about half as much as a similar capacity AGM. But that's not all. Lithium batteries have the ability to use their entire capacity from 100 to 0% and still have an incredibly long life. The reason Adventure King's lithium batteries are so good is because they use lithium iron phosphate chemistry. That means if you're using the entire 120 amp hours of capacity in this battery every day, it would still last almost 5.5 years. Some cheap lithium batteries use grade B or even second-hand cells to keep the cost down, but not here. Adventure King's lithium iron phosphate batteries use brand new grade A prismatic cells. When these batteries are assembled, each individual cell is matched with others and then grouped. Then those cells are balanced, which means that these batteries always function at their best and ensure you have full capacity. Another major feature of these Adventure King's 120 amp hour lithium batteries is the high quality internal battery management system. This BMS for short takes care of the individual cells. It balances them while you're charging your battery. It prevents overcharge, over-discharge, over-temperature, and short circuits. A high quality BMS is so important, and it's also incredibly important to match the BMS to the cells and the use of the battery. A good indicator of a high quality BMS is to look for high current discharge and charge ratings. This battery is capable of charging and discharging constantly at up to 100 amps, and it can do a peak discharge of 160 amps of current. A high discharge current and a high peak discharge current are very important if you want to run things like inverters that need a lot of power when they turn on to fill the capacitors. If you're looking at a battery that has a much lower charge and discharge rate, they could be cost cutting by using a cheaper BMS. Lithium iron phosphate is a safe technology, unlike some other lithium chemistries, and Adventure King's lithium batteries are doubly safe. Not only are they sealed and safe to use in your vehicle, they've also passed a short circuit test, overcharge test, over temperature test, and a vibration test, so they're ready to be put to use. Some lithium batteries are extremely sensitive to hot and cold temperatures, and they can be damaged or destroyed by trying to use them. Adventure King's batteries though can be charged anywhere from 0 to 50 degrees Celsius and used or discharged anywhere from -20 right through to +60 degrees Celsius. They use threaded M8 terminals for high power output and easy connection. Measuring it at 330mm long by 162mm wide and 215mm tall, they fit perfectly in an Adventure King's battery box for a lightweight and powerful portable power station. And with 120 amp hours on tap, you could run a camping fridge for 5 or even 6 days. Or you can permanently install them in your vehicle for a next level, super powerful setup that barely weighs anything. And for that reason, they're perfect for your four-wheel drive, motorhome, caravan, or camper trailer, where you need to be concerned about GVM and GCM limits. So if you want a safe, lightweight, super powerful, and super long-lasting lithium battery for your next level setup, you can't beat an Adventure King's 120 amp hour lithium battery.
Introducing the incredible Adventure King's Premium Camp Oven Stove. Your new best mate for delicious barbecue or campfire cooking and warm, cozy fires whether you're at home in your backyard or at your favorite campsite. Let me show you all the things that I absolutely love about it, and I'm sure you're gonna love too. This amazing bit of gear has been designed right here in Australia, and it combines a camping stove and a portable barbecue into one. It can run off multiple fuel sources: wood, heat beads, charcoal, briquettes, and more. When it's time to cook up a feast, you can fit 2 large pots or pans on this huge flat cooktop surface that measures in at 520mm long by 300mm wide. That's enough space to cook up a feast for the entire family. And because it runs on wood or heat beads, you can leave the gas bottle behind, one less thing to pack. And when you want a beautiful roaring campfire, use the included hook tool to simply lift the 2-piece lid off completely and just add in some more firewood. The raised enclosed design means you won't risk scorching your grass, your deck, or even your driveway. And you'll be able to use it for a beautiful warm fire at campsites that don't allow open ground fires. Plus, your fire would last longer because you're closer to the heat. Now that's cozy. The enclosed design means it's super efficient, and you can make the most of your fuel by directing the heat exactly where you want it. You can even adjust the temperature of your fire by varying the airflow. With these sliding vents on the side, a 2-piece removable lid on top, and an adjustable flue, you're always in control. Remove the entire lid for an open fire, or just this circular inner piece if you need extra heat for cooking, like searing steaks to finish them off. And this up here, now that is a real game changer. A chimney that extends over 2.4 meters off the ground to direct smoke away from your campsite for smoke-free campfires. You can even position the premium camp oven stove under your awning, your gazebo, or your shed for maximum warmth. And the angular offset chimney piece allows smoke to funnel away rather than getting trapped underneath. There's even a spark arrestor on top for good measure. There are so many more things to absolutely love about the King's Premium Camp Oven Stove. It's been designed to be super sturdy with these 4 large legs that extend the footprint a foot wider in both directions for excellent stability. The legs simply screw into the bottom like this, and you can remove the middle piece for a lower fire. This huge access door swings open with the included hook tool to allow you to easily refill the premium camp oven stove as required. Inside, you've got this fuel rack that keeps your wood or your charcoal up off the floor, maximising airflow and preventing wasted heat. It's a breeze to transport, set up and pack down too, with no tools required. Each of the 4 2-piece legs simply screw together and the chimney pieces pack into each other, with everything fitting into the main body of the premium camp oven stove for simple transport. Make sure you don't miss the incredible genuine cooking accessories available too, like a proper wood-fired meat smoker and a clever barbecue hot plate set to really take your camp cooking to the next level. And a stainless steel water boiler too. Whether I'm at home in my backyard or out camping with family, my mates, or even by myself, I absolutely love my Adventure King's Premium Camp Oven Stove. It's a portable fire pit, it's a wood or charcoal barbecue, and it's the centerpiece of every backyard get-together or camping adventure, and I know you're gonna love yours too.
Introducing the insane new Adventure King's 9-inch lethal LED driving lights. These things have an amazing combination of both spot and flood light. They have 21,840 lab-proven effective lumens per pair. That's over 2,000 more than the previous generation. Plus, they have huge light distance performance with 1 lux at over 1.3 kilometers. These are the LED driving lights that other lights wish they were.
You asked and we listened. You said you wanted even more flood of light out of your LED driving lights to light up the sides of the road, the highway and the tracks. We went back to the drawing board to redesign the lethal LED driving lights to produce exactly that. At the same time, we upgraded the lights to the ridiculously tough King's Laser Light die-cast aluminium housings and 3mm folded steel mounts. So not only are these some of the brightest LED driving lights we've ever sold, but they're also the toughest. How bright? Try a lab-proven 21,840 lumens per pair and 1 lux of 1,342 meters. That's real-world lumens too, not the theoretical lumens that some lights claim they produce. That's thanks to the genuine German-designed Osram LEDs for simply unparalleled light performance. We've also re-engineered the lethal lights with a new 5,185 Kelvin color temperature. That means they're just a little bit more on the softer, warmer side. Still a clear, crisp white light, but that little bit easier on the eyes when driving long distances. And of course, you get all the features and quality you'd expect from Adventure King's driving lights, like polycarbonate lenses, the same stuff riot shields and fighter jet canopies are made of, and an IP68 water and dustproof rating, meaning these lights are waterproof to a depth of 1 meter for an hour. Plus, for the first time ever, they're rated to IP69K. That means they can withstand high pressure jets of hot water. That tough die-cast alloy housing features passive cooling fins and a waterproof breather for longevity, and they have the ability to run on both 12 and 24 volt, meaning they're suitable for everything from cars and 4-wheel drives to trucks and machinery. Including the brackets, they measure 250mm high, 230mm wide, and 115mm deep. They have an attachment system that uses two 8mm bolts on either side to positively lock them in place and prevent them from falling out of alignment. And of course, they use the same plug as all previous Adventure Kings lights, which makes them an easy 10-minute upgrade. Just unplug your old lights, bolt the new ones on, plug them in, and you're ready to go. Add in a 2-year warranty and you've got a simply incredible set of lights that leave the competition looking a little underwhelming. The Adventure Kings 9-inch lethal LED driving lights are the best value LED driving lights on the market. We've re-engineered them to be incredibly tough and incredibly bright. They'll turn night into day, and they're on sale right now for a price you have to see to believe.
You asked and we've listened. The incredible MT1 Go Anywhere camper trailer has just received an ATM upgrade to 2 tons. All new Adventure Kings MT1 camper trailers will now come with the new upgraded 2-ton ATM. But don't worry if you already own an MT1, because a retrofit upgrade kit is available too. The MT1 is already an ultra tough trailer with a one-piece 150x50mm chassis that extends right from the drawbar all the way to the back of the trailer. Now it's even tougher with upgraded suspension, bearings, brakes and wheels to bring it up to a 2-ton ATM. The brakes are upgraded from 10-inch to 12-inch electric brakes. The alloy rims are now rated to 2-ton ATM. And an upgraded set of suspension arms also suit the upgraded ATM. And for existing owners, the retrofit upgrade is incredibly easy to do at home yourself. Everything just bolts onto the trailer with no modifications needed. That extra payload capacity means that you've got more ability than ever before to carry the gear that you need and still remain legal. For more information and full detailed specs on the MT1, see the 4-Wheel Drive Supacentre website. Now with a 2-ton ATM upgrade, the Adventure Kings MT1 Go Anywhere camper trailer can carry more gear than ever before.